Good evening and welcome to Moving Forward, a production of the Bay and Grandstown Advancement Association. I'm your host, Reverend C.B. Moss, and welcome. The principal objective of this program is to identify obstacles to the forward movement of our nation. And with the help of in-studio guests and all of you out there, we seek to reduce, if not completely remove, these obstacles. Over the years, the Bahamas has grappled with a number of issues which retarded the progress of our nation. Among these issues, the absence of a national land use plan, the absence of a plan for the distribution of crown lands, the type of foreign investment, the model of investments that would be welcomed in the Bahamas, and also the restriction, and that's a good word, restriction of local development, local Bahamian development. On this evening's program, we will be discussing the proposed development at Lighthouse Point at the southern tip of Eleuthera by the Disney Cruise Lines, where all of the above mentioned obstacles that I just listed were found. And so joining us in the studio this evening are two warriors, both members of the Coalition to Save Clifton, Mr. FredMunnings and Mr. CeliMoss. Good evening to you, gentlemen.
Good evening, Reverend Dr. C.B. Moss.
Shelley?
Once again, it's a pleasure for me to be here.
Good evening.
Yeah. Now, recently, the Coalition to Save Clifton, represented by Chelly, Freddie, and myself, made a visit to South Eleuthera to see for ourselves this proposed development project. And we were amazed at what we saw. We were really amazed. And I'm going to ask our guests to briefly give you their first impression of that place. Freddie, let's start with you.
Wow.
That's common.
That was my first impression. Yeah. Wow. Such a beautiful piece of paradise. Mm-hmm. The beaches were pristine. I mean, the sand was like sugar and pink sand. I thought it was only certain areas.
Harbor Island,
yeah, where you found the pink sand, but literally it looked like the same kind of sand. Mm-hmm. And it was fine, like sugar. I mean, I could not believe. And there were three, I think, distinct beaches giving different perspectives of this beautiful location and the historic value and the traditional value. I learned from some of the persons who we ran into that their great-grandparents used to go on that beach. And our tour guide, the gentleman who took us around, he indicated that there are some historical artifacts there that they don't even know what the value of they are at the moment, because as you are aware, the environmental impact assessment has not yet been done. So I just thought it was an incredible experience for me. I physically wanted to go and see to find out what was all the hoopla about. And then when we saw the real estate, the massive land that was there surrounding the site and the beautiful sand dunes.
And the cliffs.
And the cliffs, the different contours of it. It was just incredible. I just thought it was magnificent.
Chelly, what was your first impression?
Well, my impression of it was that it was amazing. You know, being a Bahamian and, you know, going to the islands back and forth and seeing it, you know, to be blown away by it again. You know, as Freddie said, it was almost like three distinctive beaches. You had one strip of beach was like 4 miles. You know what I mean? Yes. Then you had the other strip of beach. You had the cliffs. It was just an amazing, picturesque view. The lagoons. It was just, you know what I mean? I mean, it's paradise. I think Bahamians, we take Bahamas for granted. And, you know, even when you travel the world and you see other places and you compare them to the Bahamas, it's like, there's really no comparison. And you understand why when people come here, if we live here and we feel this way, imagine them seeing it for the first time, because we met some people who were on the beach and they were, you know what I mean, amazed by it. So
These were visitors.
it's an incredible piece of property. I mean, so you understand why people want it. It goes without question.
Well, for me, I have been traveling the Bahamas, the entire Bahamas, for decades, frequently. And I could state without any great fear of contradiction that Lighthouse Point and the surrounding area is arguably the most beautiful piece of property, at least still remaining accessible to Bahamians in the country today.
I have been told and I have seen the waters of Exuma,
Yeah.
the different shades of blue. But Shelley, I can tell you, that same characteristic, the different shades of blue, CB, the aquamarine beauty of our country, and the impact of the natural waves on one side, which you got a little bit more of a breeze. As you and I sat for a while and we thought it was a natural air condition
absolutely.
flowing. And then the contours of the rock. And you as a photographer, I said it's the photographer's paradise.
Oh, I agree. I mean, like, even for me personally, I've changed my Facebook profile to a picture of it. And I was so mesmerized by the beauty. I went and wrote on the sand, Chelly was here.
I saw that.
That's my profile pic
Yes,
on my
yes,
Facebook
yes,
page.
yes.
Chelly was here.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Fantastic.
So it's amazing. Listen,
Well,
man.
if veteran travelers like ourselves, we've been almost everywhere. And if we are almost blown away, we can't stop talking about it.
And we are accustomed to this.
That's right.
That is
And
right.
we're accustomed to it.
That's
So
another point. That's right.
And we are talking about it. I could only imagine, for those who may not have seen it, they will be thinking now that, wow, that must be a beautiful place. But think no more. They don't have to think.
And another point, CB, the fact is that Bahamians are not even aware of these kinds of treasures.
Well, they don't
That's
have to-
another indictment on us
They don't
as a
have to
people.
think anymore.
Well,
Freddie
this one
and
in
Shelley.
particular.
No, this one, because they're
Yes.
going to see it. So for
yeah.
the next few minutes, just feast your eyes upon what we saw when we were there. And I'm sure that you will realize why we are so animated.
And also the blue holes and stuff.
Yeah, the whole area, the whole
area is amazing.
And you will see all of that. So folks, watch this just brief intermission for a few minutes, and then we will come back. Perhaps Chelly and Freddie would have cooled down a little bit in their excitement. I know I would not have, because I am still on a high from what I saw. But folks, don't go away. We're going to be right back. Just watch this.